Okay, let's start the meeting at 5:45. City Clerk, will you please call to the order of the council?
Mayor Castro,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Real is absent. Councilmember Hurtado,
Here.
Councilmember Moreno is absent, and he called in that he will be late.
Okay,
Councilmember Kim,
Here.
we have a quorum, Mayor.
thank you. Next item, pledge of deletion. Maritza Hurtado, will you please lead us on the pledge of deletion?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item, approval of the agenda.
Move.
We have a motion.
Second?
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Respond to say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. City Clerk, can you read the public comments appearance?
This is the time for the public to address the council on any item on the special meeting agenda. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay council meetings with personal or slanderous remarks. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council.
Okay, do we have any public comments? City Clerk? No? Okay, item number 1, discussion and potential items. Number 1 is appointing by the mayor council member to the Calexico Personal Commission. Okay. Yes, I would like to appoint to Mr. Forgot his name. It's Mr. I left that information on my, well, you know what, can we skip that and Mr.
Mr. Hurtado, Sansa.
Mr. Hurtado, you,
I also need to just wait for a few minutes for confirmation.
a few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Kim,
I already had it. I already appointed last time.
oh, you already appoint someone, okay. Well,
Gracias Cervantes.
so me and Marisa, we are going to wait for a few minutes. So we are going to skip the item number 1, okay? Item number 2, appointment of 2 council members to serve and IHOP committee to address issues related to the Hurston community. Well, I would like to appoint myself, and also I would like to appoint Mr. Kim on the IHOP committee for the Hurston community. And that's number 2. The other are being released.
No, yeah, we have to vote, no? Or discuss whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's vote on this. Are you in favor of this item,
Yeah,
Mr. Kim?
make the motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion. Mrs. Hurtado, are you gonna support this motion?
Did you want me to second?
It's all depend on you. If
Second motion?
Okay, we have a motion and second. All those in favor, respond to say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed. Item number, well,
Can we?
before continue with item number 3, okay, this is the,
We need to talking about the form to how we're going to be formed with the community members. This is
Yeah.
from the council side.
okay, you're right, this is from the council side. And Mr. City Attorney, in order to select people from the community and from Hurston area, we have to do it now, or we need to let them appoint themselves? How can we do it? City manager?
Yeah, under the Brown Act, if you appoint a committee that just has the two council members on it, in this kind of a situation, it's not a Brown Act committee, you don't have to do all the open meeting stuff. On the other hand, if you appoint two council members and at the same time appoint members from the community, then it becomes a Brown Act committee, so you have to comply with all the agenda postings and the minutes and all that stuff. So
even two council member
I would,
with the community, some represented, is going to be under the Brown Act.
if you appoint members from the community to the committee. So if you just appoint a committee of the council and tell them to meet with members of the community, and you two can select members of the community to meet with later on, then it's all right. You don't have to do the Brown Act.
I have some question. What if the community make the form themselves, about 5 or 7 the represented, the board member, whoever, then we can meet together with them.
That works, yeah.
That works. That way, council member doesn't have to, we don't have any Brown Act issues.
Exactly, yeah.
So how the community member want to do it?
Mr. Mayor,
Get, Mr. City manager.
I think before you move to that, I was under the understanding that it was the council's desire to form a subcommittee of 2 council members to work with administration.
Yes.
To develop administrative policy directives, to deal with the issues out there. I wasn't aware that you wanted community members to be part of that decision-making, because that kind of sort of is a different ballgame. What we need, I think, and it would be my recommendation, is that we form the council subcommittee to go through some of the problems and issues with us administratively, and then perhaps schedule monthly meetings with the community as community meetings to discuss these issues with them. I think it would probably be better for you to be well-versed with the issues that we have in front of us, and then make administrative policy recommendations to the council to follow later on, and then kind of plug in the community's input,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, to set only for the council member and the staff to together have a meeting, and then you call the once a month, whatever, to call with the community.
Right.
But we were kind of like a little different idea was county members will not be able to acting as like a making decision entity. So the county, community itself, like a 5 representative, they making recommendation. That meeting, the 2 council members meet with them. If the staff can be there perfectly to all given all the information about the details, all things, they can have make the suggestion to their recommendation. Right. I believe whatever we spend, what we're going to do, help the community. So if without listening them, without their wishes, if we impose something, it's not right. So I'd like to act this committee, HAW committee, to listening the community's suggestion, and technically to what city can do for them, and then final decision we should bring to the council to council approval. So actually,
That's what I was recommending, that you keep it as a council subcommittee with management and have regular meetings where we invite the public in a community meeting forum and get feedback. Again,
okay.
we have to be able to work through
I think
some
we don't have any
administrative-
problem.
Right.
To southern areas, we just meet with the city staff to for the city side. What is the realities? What is the numbers? All the issues. Probably they might have some kind of like what's called the closed session item. So we discuss with the staff, and same time we have a meeting with the 5 or the representative community to recommendation from them.
Can you step up to the, did you fill out a request to speak?
Hello? Okay. I believe, well, my name is Juan Carrillo, and I believe it's not right for you to bring in the public when this is affecting this community directly. So why are we going to bring the rest of the city involved into this?
Okay, I have some idea on the answer. Can I-
What I was proposing that you form a council subcommittee where that subcommittee would meet with administration to digest the issues that we need to, and then from time to time, invite the community, perhaps once a month, perhaps whatever you want to do, so that we can keep the community in the Hartston, when I mean community, I mean the Hartston people, so that we can keep back and forth.
Yeah, I'm getting idea with
Because
this.
policy directives have to be driven through the subcommittee up to the city council. I don't want to give the illusion to the community members that they're going to be driving policy.
Yeah, okay. I think this community has to understand, we have the council member have to work two sides. One, as a city side, so it might be some documents, whatever, they might engaging with the closed session items, so we have to talk with the city staff to what city is facing. At the same time, to a council member with the city staff to listening the community, what's called suggestion. That suggestion, we're gonna take, during the suggestion, probably city staff to giving some real numbers or the issues to inform to community as much as city can open to the public. So that suggestion come out, maybe your suggestion might be changed because it may be, what's called some numbers or some information the city give the staff, or so that suggestion is come to the council meeting to make the final decision of how we're going to do it. So I believe that we have the council member has to work in two sides. One for the community, same time one for the city staff, with the city staff, what's the status in the cities on the bonds or whatever issues. That's, I believe, we're forming the HAR committee. Of course, mostly we're gonna push it to not only once a month. Probably we might have to call with the when the community members. Probably our first call might gonna be meeting with the community. Community let the community make the 5 or 7 representatives decided, so we can have more details and the very constantly meeting with the city staffs. How about that?
What do you guys think?
Jose Hinojosa, 1056 F. Torres. I believe there's been this idea, I know as council members, you guys have to make decisions for the city's interest and also serve the public, which got you in office. So I believe there's been enough time, 10 years with this issue, and we want to be part of it. I mean, we are not going to be making administrative directive decisions because we don't possess that power, and we're not city manager, we're not city attorney, but we would like to be part of this solution. We've had this issue for 10 years, and you, council has ultimately made all the decisions regarding this community. The community is not going to overtake your positions or your standing on the issue. At the end of the day, you guys will make city council will make the decisions. So we would like to be part of this ad hoc committee, not to make or guide you. We know we don't have that power. You have the power as administrator, as city council members. But it would be really good for our community, which has suffered for so long, to be part of this informative decision-making process. Thank you.
Okay, I believe that we should have that committee include the community member, but same time, if we needed to meet with the city staff, 2 council members with the city staff having meetings, so it's not.
Right, and what I offer you is that we create that, and every time we have a meeting that needs to be, that the community would be included, we would have a community meeting with the ad hoc committee and staff.
Yes. When we have the ad hoc
We're not
meeting, we're
saying
going
that
to
you're
have a
not going
meeting
to
with
be
the community
invited.
members,
We're saying
staffs
that
too.
in order for us to, one of the things that we're trying to do is we're not trying to create another board, another committee that is going to be subject to the Brown Act and all these other requirements. We're trying to create meetings that are more fluid, so that way we can interact with you guys and get your feedback. That's why I'm recommending a subcommittee where we meet with staff, and then we have from time to time community meetings where we bring you in for community input.
So anything, so when we need it, two committee members, a council member with the staff, City Hall, we can meet anytime if necessary. But at the same time, we have some come like every 2 weeks or constantly we're meeting with them to bring their idea what they want and then what we can do for the city. I believe we have some money is there, so we start looking for the money spending as soon as possible to serve the community.
Okay. Maritza, do you
So,
have?
okay,
I just had a
how
question.
Okay,
Are you finished, Mr. Kim?
okay, let her talk first.
So am I gathering the technicality that we call it an ad hoc here purposely, or are we going to be switching over to call it a subcommittee for the technicality of the ability of what they can
Explain
do?
the difference between the two.
Yeah, explain the difference between those two.
It's kind of a difference between having a formal Brown Act body and an informal kind of subcommittee. If it's an ad hoc committee, then we don't have to comply with the requirements of the Brown Act, which are, you have to have an agenda, you have to post it 72 hours ahead of time, and then there's the formalities in the meeting that you can't talk about stuff that's not on the agenda, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, where if it's just an ad hoc subcommittee, which are appointed to deal with a particular issue,
For a short, brief time?
short period of time, no necessarily fixed meeting schedule. It's just a lot easier to manage, and you don't, like the city manager said, it becomes a more fluid, informal situation. You don't have to comply with all the formalities. My understanding is, I mean, the whole goal here is to work with the community to reach consensus in terms of dealing with the issues. So obviously, the community is going to have to be part of that, or it's not going to work. It'd be a waste of time. And the council, I mean, that's the intent, is to be meeting with the council, with the community, but doing it in an informal setting rather than having to set up the kind of formal structure we do under the Brown Act. So-
Yeah, I think that's a way we can discuss any issues without any put on the agenda. Timely, we gathering all the information, discussion, whatever suggestion come, so we take to the council to final approval. So that time has to be follow the rules, things. But right now, we started work together to see what is best of it right now. So I don't know how soon we can have a next meeting you guys need enough time to let the community know, to all together as much as you can. So you can have, from there, you guys can choose 5 or 10, whatever, whoever representative, so we can have a more constant meeting.
Did you get your answer?
Mhm.
Madam? Okay.
I'm sorry, there's no slips up here. Lorena Minor Hartstone. You mentioned time, Mr. Kim. We were just notified Monday evening. That's why there's not enough of us here. So there's not enough notification this time. So we need to have prior notification. Obviously, some of us needed to find babysitting arrangements and other.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, Tuesday evening. See, Tuesday was when the notice was given. So I know more people from Hartstone community would have been here if we would have given a little bit more notice. That's
So-
one. Two, I mean, elections are right around the corner. If this is going to be an ad hoc committee, I would rather have another person from the council that is going to stay on the council for sure. And I thank you both, because I know that, thanks to you, Mr. Kim, a lot is being done with the Hartstone, but we don't know what's going to happen after elections. Will you both still be here? Yes, maybe, no, maybe. We don't know the future. So we would like, Jose, Mr. Hinojosa, and myself, we're speaking right now. We would like to have someone that's on the council permanently, continually, on the council. Yet it be Mr. Hurtado or Mr. Real, I don't know, because we don't want this to die. You guys have given us a lot of attention, and we thank you, but we're barely starting. Thank you.
So we're going to start. I believe that with the help of God, probably we might going to come. I believe we're coming back. So let's start it. I'm not here for my election campaigning. If I were, okay, it's my campaigning is always. I believe that what I'm done is enough to show the community to vote for it, make the decision. Not by, I don't have to convince the community. So let's start it to try to help you guys to at least to get going.
Okay, Mr. Kim. So
When is going to be time?
again, I would like to hear the motion. So what was the?
First of all, we'll approve it,
You
no?
did the, you motioned, right, Mr. Kim?
We already voted. No? Okay,
We already voted? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
You already voted.
Next item number 3.
So wait, can we ask them when we can have another meeting? So they need more time, they said. When it's going to be?
So, Mr. Kim, I can provide probably some feedback on that. Well, we already have a database of all the names. I think at the last time when we held a community meeting, we had a list made. So what we can do is perhaps if a week
Next
is
Tuesday?
enough, we can send the notices a week, 10 days in advance of the
Next
meeting.
Tuesday going to be fine? Okay.
Okay.
So next Tuesday, we're going to have a meeting.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
Okay, item number 3, an update on the issue related to the Hearthstone community. Mr. City Manager, can you give us some update?
Sure.
On that, please.
Mr. Since the last time, I believe we have not given the council, the full council, a report, but as you know and you were present, we held a community meeting on September 15th, 2016, and we probably had over 70 residents here. And, one of the objectives, or two of the objectives that we wanted to accomplish at that meeting was we wanted to make sure that the community members had access to the information, to the bond indenture, to all the documents that were relevant. And we provided all the residents that were here with copies of all those documents. The other objective was that I wanted to do, and staff, all of us wanted to do, was to be able to develop a list of questions that the community had. And we have generated a list of 26 questions that the community had. We are in the process of formulating answers to that, and it is our hope that we're going to finish these answers or these answers to these questions possibly early next week, and we're going to post them so that the community members can read them and then use them for our future meetings. And at the same time, after that meeting, we held an internal meeting with staff, and we went over some of these questions, and some of these questions and concerns dealt with the existing infrastructure out there. And at this time, I'd like to call Mr. Nick Finley. He had an opportunity to perform an assessment of the facilities out there, and he can provide you more answers.
Good afternoon, City Council members of the audience. Nick Finley, Public Works. We, since staff and myself, we went out there to the Hearthstone area, and we did an assessment of some of the needs that we felt were out there. So those needs have been identified, and we have created a list, and we are in the process of doing the assessment as to what the cost of those needs are going to be. So as soon as we have that, we will be providing it to the residents and to the council and to that subcommittee, actually. and so then we can go forward. We have already been out there. We've had the IID go out there and take care of some of the light issues. The lighting issue's been addressed. Some of the weed abatement along the areas that were of concern have been abated. And so we've been out there actively trying to reach some type of determination as to exactly how to proceed. And so we'll be coming forward with you that in the near future.
Just to add to that, the reason why it's taking a little bit longer, because the minute we decide to do these things, they become public works projects, and we have to be able to, make sure that we inventory, we list, we do a cost analysis, and we get whether we can do it ourselves or we have to sub it out. And the biggest thing is to seek funding for those things. So what we try to do is to try to identify what I call the low-hanging fruit repairs that we can do, and some of those were things like cleaning up, repairing some lights out there, energizing some lights that don't have energy right now, and that's what Nick is working on. We are also assessing some of the sidewalks that people told us were broken. I believe, Nick, you have gone out there and marked some of the sidewalks they're going to be repairing, and ultimately what we like to do is to develop a list that we can attack right now, and a list that, that items that are kind of expensive to put them on our capital improvement program to, in the future, start fixing some of the more expensive things out there. So that's kind of in the works, and it is our hope that the steering committee and the community can help us go through that process as we go. Another thing that we've identified is that aside from the public improvements, we also have problems with the CFD. And I think, as I explained to the community that day, that is going to be probably an issue that's going to take a little bit longer to address because of the sheer amount of paperwork that we need to go through with the CFD consultants, with the assessments, some of the back taxes that haven't been paid. We have a
I was curious, who is going to be the CFD consultant in this?
We are using Copel, with a K, the same consultant that came in here, couple, and they're actually assisting us in putting together the tax levy for the CFD. But we have a slew of other consultants that are helping us, that are going to be helping us, that are currently helping us deal with the tax defaults right now, and that are going to be helping us with what I want to do, which is look at the feasibility of restructuring the CFD, possibly. And that's going to be what's going to be taking a little bit longer. So, Mr. Mayor, that's pretty much the update that I have for now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I have several things I need to talk. First of all, I'm glad our staff to have a little proactive on the assessment list. But if they have an assessment list, when they go in the notice for the public, if they can include it in the assessment list, or it's going to be a lot of help for the community, they can discuss themselves, they can have a pre-knowledge to what they want to do it. And the other one is, I have two, sorry to community, but I believe this one is be important. I have two written statements on these issues. Hurston Community Facility District, CFD 2006 Special Tax Bond, number 2005-1. Bond financial summary, $14,710,000 bond issued, $12,830,400. $12,830,000 and $439 net amount less bond and the underwriting fees. $15,379,591 bond interest, and $30 million, $86,501 total payments to be paid until year 2036 as per bond issuance. $6,547,649. Calexico Unified School District, the bond, and $314,921 City of Calexico park fees is also been issued. Background CFD is a City Council, City of Calexico in 2005, cut the deal with the Pacific Century Homes in 2005 to build the 457 residential mixed-use community. The city set up bond issuing district called the CFD or Melo Luz to float a $14,710,000 bond. The Calexico Unified School District also approved it, CFD, prior to the council approval in 2005. The Calexico Planning Commission rejected the CFD proposal based on lack of finance due to due diligence. However, the city council reversed this decision. Later on, 2005, the city council removed all the planning commissioners. Both the city and the school blew through the $12.8 million, and in 2008, Pacific Century Homes filed bankruptcy, leaving behind the mountains of moved earth and the naked concrete foundations. Hearthstone property owners in 2008 wanted a solution to this problem, but city officials did not offer any assistance or any answers. Reviewing the bond issues, the bond underwriter, Kinsale, Newcomb de Dios Incorporation, Carlsbad, California. Special tax consultant, Muni Financial, Temecula, California. The bond underwriter is no longer in business. This company is being accused by the Security Exchange Commission for misappropriation of the bond process, and it has numerous legal issues with other public agencies. The bond underwriter is the same company that used a different corporate name, Alta Vista Financial, with the Calexico Unified School District on Major J. One of the main principals pleaded guilty to bribery and the conspiracy with a different school district on the school bond. Special tax consultant for this bond issuance is not Muni Financial. City of Calexico utilized the service of the General Government Management Services Incorporation, which is the president named Alan Kapanicas. This individual was arrested by the FBI and the Riverside District Attorney with charges of embezzlement, misappropriation of funds, and the conspiracy of numerous CFDs. Attached is a copy of the email from the City of Calexico Finance Department to GGMS, Alan Kapanicas, on the CFD financial information from the both Hearthstone CFD and the Grand Plaza CFD. We know for a fact that the City of Calexico had a direct financial involvement with Alan Kapanicas, even though it was not listed on the 2005 bond issuance. So we, City of Calexico, dealing a lot of criminals. I don't know why we end up that way. It's questionable. And the other one is Las Palmas Mobile Home Parks. Background, City of Calexico approved the 466 mobile home units on 76 acres. As the date, no progress has been done on this site. Area is getting blighted, potential health and safety issues, incomplete infrastructures. Per Imperial County Recorder's Office, mechanic liens on the developments. May 7, 2013, Calexico City Council approved Dixie Line Builders Funds Incorporation.
Mr. Kim,
Almost done.
we need to focus on the
For
Harrison.
financial security on
Mr.
the
Kim,
infrastructure city, this is involved with us.
we need to focus
Yes,
on the Harrison.
Yes, this is,
community.
yes, this one is there. Infrastructure City Council waived the surety bond requirements on lien of the escrow account at the Dix Line Builders Funds Incorporation. City engineers recommended this escrow account. We formally request an update on this project, and is that the development is using the sewer life stations at the Hearthstone residents directly paid for that. I'd like to know that they're using same facility, which is a CFT bond paid by the CFT bond from the Hearthstones. The Las Palmas project, did they pay the impact fees?
You mean asking?
Yes.
Asking?
You want to answer that?
Yes.
We can find that, I don't know.
I believe we don't. And also,
Well, I don't know.
we approved the surety bonds. Look at what happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that's the third item. Next item.
I do have a couple of questions.
Okay, go ahead.
I just reviewed the list that you just gave me, Mr. Villa. Thank you. I hadn't seen the list that had the 25 questions developed, I guess, by the residents. Yeah. And on this list, I don't see the lift station. There was a lift station that was installed probably within the Walmart properties. I think it's like on the west side of parcel between 3 and 4 probably. And back in that time, I remember that there was a bit of criticism about that lift station because the lift station had a lot of capacity with all kinds of modern components to it. And when it was installed, it was never used. And it looked like what was being heard was there was a lot of vandalism and a lot of the actual components to the equipment there being stolen. So if we can add to that list also to find out about that lift station. And then I think that, as you were saying, that there needs to be a briefing once again for everyone, and that happens in a situation where we've had many changes in our management. And because Mr. Villa has only been here for 3 months, he is being briefed, but you also have a council that may need to be briefed, like myself, being that I wasn't able to participate, because I never learned what the status was of that one construction bond, because that was part of closed session meetings, and apparently some part of that construction bond was addressed in order to take some of that monies out of there to take care of some of those needs. And I never learned, I know we can't discuss that here because it was part of closed session, but I would really appreciate if you would rebrief us, and then you'd be rebriefing yourself as well. But as far as what the status really was on that bond, because that bond was there to ensure that the construction would have been completed in the event that, and exactly what happened, that the developer abandoned ship. And so very curious, and I believe it's a very important part to know what that money actually took care of, and that we be rebriefed on that part. The other question here from your list on item number 22, Mr. Villa, it says that 2 parcels are to be sold in Imperial County in February, and I guess that has to do a little bit about the news that have been out there on the tax lien sales. But it says here that it's payment on property taxes on Unit 3 and Unit 4. Are we talking about actually the what we're looking at there, the whole unit, the whole section, or some Or what are we talking about on number 22? Can somebody tell me?
If you're referring to the map, if you look at the map
Well,
out
it's
there-
just that on item 22, it says that there were payment of property taxes on Unit 3 and Unit 4. So what are they referring to?
Actually, Councilwoman, this list is the questions that the community had.
So can you kind of brief?
We're going to be trying to provide answers to these questions, but what this question refers to is Unit 3 and 4, which happen to be the parcels that are on the west side of the
Undeveloped.
development, that are undeveloped, that are still owned, or I presume they're still owned by either the developer or the bank, the bank.
Last time I heard there was a Bank of China or something like that
Right.
involved with number 4. But now, enlighten me, is there a property sale on those two sections?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Somebody had a question, and then somebody mentioned that they had heard that the county was trying to collect back taxes, and they were going to put them up for sale. So we're going to verify that information.
Okay, I think that's a really important part.
Sure.
To know what that status is. And then there was another issue I remember that we were very confused about, which was the retention basins. I remember that within the monies that were being charged to this area was because there was going to be some retention basins installed within the city relative to that area, and we never knew which retention basins were being paid through that. So I'm kind of curious to know that too. Is what retention basins, because I remember that too. So if we're going to cover everything that was being paid through all of this, that was two things that were very, were unknown at that time, and I guess it's still a little unknown. So if you just want to add that to the list of what we're going to provide as far as further information. So besides that, I think that that's all the information that I would want to clarify, because these questions look really good. Very detailed now as far as what it is that we're looking for. So I'm just trying to add a little bit to those questions and have everybody briefed and everybody on the same page. That is it.
That's it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have no more update on this issue with the Hearthstone community. And, well, okay, we have
Lorena Minor?
some public comments.
Good evening again, Lorena Minor. Ms. Hurtado brought up a question that, about the retention basin. One of the residents asked me, and I don't dare go out to the retention basin. Apparently, due to the moisture and the poor lighting, we have a creation or a homestead of bats back there.
Infestation?
Infestation of bats, yes. Apparently, people thought they were birds and owls, but we have many people of different traits that live in our subdivision, and because they know I work for the city, they came to me and they asked me, and I said, you know what, I don't dare go back there. And
Has it been reported?
No. Apparently, at night, they come out, and we don't have any city staff that works at night, so I don't know who can come out and look at the bats at night. I sure won't.
Looks like a Halloween's in there.
Well, you know what, you may be laughing, but it's not a laughing matter to me because I have small children that live out there, and bats have different diseases, and, you know, one
This
thing
is
is a
serious, Mr.
mosquito,
Kim.
but hopefully, I don't know, you know, I understand I most of all understand that we're understaffed, and I don't know what the city's gonna do to check this out, but it's a concern if it's true. Like I said, I don't have any foundation, but the concern has been brought by two residents that are not here today, they couldn't make it. Another thing that we're talking about, and I want to reiterate, phase one, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. I know Mr. Nick Finley made an assessment out there, but where is the $1 million for phase one? I want my driveway and Mr. Shelton's driveway and my sidewalks for the.
Ms. Montes, when you're talking 1 million, are you talking about the value of the bond?
No, I'm not talking about the actual bond. I'm talking about the bond that was taken away from the developer when the city sued the developer.
The construction bond?
The construction bond.
Okay, so
yes.
we're talking about the same thing. That's what I'm asking him. That's the one that we need, that was discussed in closed session, and that I definitely don't know what the status
I
is,
don't know
and
when it was
who-
discussed, but I know because it concerns me and my
Right,
house.
so we're talking about the same thing, the construction bond.
I don't know.
Yeah, there is no other bond.
Yeah.
It's
So there's
just that
$1
one.
million, and there is a punch list. There is a punch list that the engineering division did back then, and I have a copy of it because I did a formal request for information when Jennifer Lyon was our city attorney at the time. And so their addresses, and that's where the second exit is included with the Phase 1, which is supposed to come out to Rancho Frontera. That's part of the $1 million.
La
And
Jolla
back-
Palms?
Yes, back in 2009, $1 million seemed like a lot of money, but right now, it's probably going to go really fast. But let's not forget about Phase 1, $1 million. Phase 1, $1 million. Thank you. And I
Thank
think
you.
Shelton
And-
is looking at me, but no more bats.
Do we have any public comments from the public? Okay.
Can we
those-
send, can we send
those-
some animal control on that areas?
Those answer, Mr. City Mayor, City Manager, he's gonna answer for the next public council meeting, right, Mr.
Well,
Villa?
there's an immediate concern right now is with the bats, so we will get on the phone with vector control. There's a county department that deals with that, so we'll get on the phone.
Okay, so there is no more public comments, Mrs. Clerk.
Hello, my name is Blanca Castellanos from Hearthstone Community. My concern is, I heard you guys mentioning that you guys are fixing some lights, some street lights in my community. And my question is, when is the one in Spud Moreno in front of the famous park and La Jolla Boulevard light is going to be fixed? Because there's a stop sign right there, and people don't see the stop sign. They just pass it and drive fast, and I know we're really short on police officers, but what if something happens to my children? I mean, I have cameras, and I can show you how fast they're driving.
So it's Spot Moreno and which is the other one?
La Jolla Palms, the one in the corner where the stop sign is. And they pass it and sometimes don't even do it, and my concern. Huh? This is like the fourth time I'm here for the light issue.
Okay, we need to give direction again to Mr. Friendly and also
But-
to the,
City manager.
But please go and fix it. I mean, I've seen a lot of vehicles there just stop, look at it, and leave. I mean, I want a solution for this. It's really dark at night, and I have cameras, and I can show you that they don't even see the stop sign.
that could be a priority for Mr. Finley, right, Mr. Finley? City Manager, will you please take care of that issue?
How soon?
It's a
How soon
priority.
can be there?
I don't want to extend this, but I think one of the assessments we made is some of the poles are there, there's no wires, there's no transformer, there's nothing. So we would have to, go back. And that may be one of them. I don't know that it is. So the ones that just need a bulb replaced, I think we've contacted the IID and they've been done. The other ones are a little more complex. We are also looking at putting lights where there's no lights. So and that's in the sort of immediate future, we're going to be looking at that.
And you mentioned that they don't have wires, because one of my neighbors, he's not here, he said that those lights that are on La Jolla Palms, the first time that they developed that area, they were on, the lights were on, and all of a sudden they were unplugged.
No, actually, I have to correct that. I lived at that corner. I lived at 1,000 Spud Moreno. I was an original owner. They never worked.
Okay.
And yes, I also contacted the city several times. And I think that what it is with that corner is that it's an extremely dark corner. It is on
dark.
it is on the edge of Calexico. There is nothing after that. And that, living there by myself with my kids, I mean, I relied on my little Chihuahua just to protect me, but but I lived there for 5 years, and it was the darkest place. It was extremely scary. So I think that that's probably what we're all concerned about, that particular corner.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Because it's so dark.
It's on the list.
City Manager.
Okay.
It's on the list, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks to you. Do we have any more public comments, Mrs.? Please.
So we're going to have a meeting on the next coming Tuesday. Tuesday, yeah. The time is going
It's
to be...
going to be a regular council
6?
meeting.
Oh, Tuesday, Wednesday we have council meeting.
Yeah, it's going to be a regular council meeting.
Oh, so no, I'm talking about the HOC committee with the ad hoc meeting. Should be Tuesday, no? We were saying that Tuesday we're going to have a meeting. It's for Tuesday.
Let us look at the calendar. We're going to try to schedule the next meeting. You know, we have a pretty hectic agenda for next Wednesday for you guys. So we're prepping for that. So let us work on giving you a date. If it's not next week, immediately after the next week.
No, it's too
We-
late.
We are going to work on that.
Yeah.
So
Too late for what?
don't worry.
So why don't we meet on Tuesday? Then? We already talked about the Tuesday next meeting, then we change the date? Let's get the this coming meeting to starting form the committee with the members. So at least to bring the issues, backup documents as much as you can. Let's get started.
For the next Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes. Even just form the committee with the community to let the talk with them to let's start it.
So we need to motion on that. See,
We already voted.
for the date?
Yeah.
For the date?
No, we already discussed about the date.
For the date?
Well, if you don't want it, then I'm okay with it.
No,
But,
I ask you for the date. For
yeah,
the
Tuesday. We already talked with
Oh,
Tuesday.
okay.
We're gonna have a meeting.
So we don't need to talk about that anymore.
okay.
So we already decided on that. Okay, so next item is, Marisa, are you ready to appoint someone for?
We're going back to item number 1?
Yes, we are going back to item number 1.
On my appointment then for the Personnel Commission, I'll be appointing Mr. Ernie Medina.
Ernie Medina?
Yes.
Okay. We need to take like 5 minutes recess in order to take my wallet and get the name for the appointment. Okay, 5-minute recess. To start the meeting again, on the item number 1, to appoint for personal commissioner, I would like to appoint Mr. Greg Gilman.
He's not living here.
Yes, he is. I asked him. Greg Gilman.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have no more issues. Make a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned at 6:45.